Hi, everyone. This is Destiny. I'm the business manager here at Ultrasound-Services, and I'm with Christopher Merkel today. And we're doing the next episode of Franchise Fridays. It is July 4th, so we just all over here at Ultrasound-Services wanted to wish you guys a happy July 4th. We hope you guys go and enjoy with your families. But we're still going to be here doing this episode with you guys. It should be a fun one. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be playing some games today. So my first game that I want to play is going to be Would You Rather? It's going to be like a healthcare hustle edition. So my first question is going to be, would you rather lose Wi-Fi for a week or reschedule every appointment for a week?
Happy 4th of July, before we get started. I would rather reschedule every appointment for a week. I think that losing Wi-Fi for a week would be very detrimental to our business. We would probably have to scramble and get hotspots, maybe pay a monthly payment on everybody's cell phones at the office so we could maybe do hotspots or something for that long of a time, but that just seems like it would be a nightmare. So I would say reschedule every appointment for a week.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, rescheduling would just be a lot of calling, but losing Wi-Fi, we wouldn't be able to check people in, and we wouldn't be able to send exams to be read unless we had the hotspots.
That would be awkward.
Yeah, we lost Wi-Fi for like 2 hours, and it was a struggle. So, my next one then is going to be: would you rather partner with a big investor or stay 100% self-owned?
Ooh. That's a tough one. It depends on, I guess, what we had to give up for partnering with a big investor. If it came with some giant perks, i.e. a big fat roll bank account, then I might partner with a big investor. But, for the most part, I think Shannon and I only speak for myself in this situation, I think we both kind of like being owned by ourselves and not having somebody else tell us what to do. Yeah. But at the same time,
if they were a silent investor, then
if they were a silent investor, then maybe. If they said, "Hey, we'll take a back seat. Let's see how fast you can grow," I could probably get on board with that. I don't know what kind of additional reporting that would require, but it seems like we might have to go public after that. And
yeah,
I don't know. Seems like it'd be a lot of work, but I would probably stay self-owned.
Yeah, I think I would too if I had my own business. I mean, I don't know. I feel like even silent investors at one point would try to get involved somehow.
Right.
Because it's their money in their mind. So, but okay, my next question is gonna be: would you rather go viral for something hilarious or something meaningful?
Oh man, I don't know. I like to joke around, and I think maybe the meaningful will probably be more lasting.
Me too.
The hilariousness would probably wear off in a week or a few days. I think I'd rather go viral for something meaningful, to be honest. Yeah. That's just me, though.
I would too, because I feel like even after going viral, like if you gain a lot of followers or something, those followers are only going to remember you for that one funny moment, or like if it's embarrassing too. So at least if it's meaningful, that will stick for a long time. Right. So, okay, so that was the Would You Rather round. So my next round is going to be Mythbusters Business Edition. So I'm going to kind of say a myth that maybe the majority of people think, and you can tell me if it's true or if that's not actually true. Okay. So my first one is going to be the idea that franchising is a guaranteed shortcut to success.
That is truly a myth. Okay. And it has been proven on many occasions through many various types of franchises. The franchise system isn't meant to be a guarantee. It's meant to be a platform by which you build something that is lasting. Marcus Mamonis, a guy on TV that goes around fixing franchises, he has shown time and time again that the accounting side of things can go horribly wrong, and you could possibly lose your business through default if you're not on top of things, doing things appropriately. Systems, again, are really meant to be a format. It doesn't necessarily mean that person, controlling that format or working within that format is going to follow it. And that could lead to demise of a company or a brand. And so with that being said, I would say that is a myth, a big myth.
Yeah. Like that, I think maybe people think the work is already done for them. Right. But it's, like you said, it's just the format and not.
I mean, I look at our franchise. Work. Ours is an ultrasound franchise, and I know of other 3D, 4D ultrasound franchises that are consistently closing their locations. And we're talking recently. And so you have to ask, why are they closing? What do they not have in their franchise setup that allowed them to continue on past their given point or their end time? It's the way business works. You have to adapt or die.
Yeah. All right. Well,
as they say.
So I guess going on with building a business, the other one is that you have to work 24/7 to build a business.
Ooh. Man, this one's it's not really a myth.
I figured you would say that. That's
true. I wish it was a myth. Any entrepreneur will tell you that they're all in. They spend the majority of their day thinking about, and I think this is where the rubber meets the road, where they converge. You say you're not working 24/7, but your mind is constantly working toward a goal and dealing with challenges or operational issues that come up. I think it's maybe not that you're physically doing work, but you are constantly thinking about growth, about how to expand, how to survive, how to change, how to adapt. You're constantly thinking, you're dreaming about business. You're having nightmares about business, possibly. I mean, it doesn't stop. And so I think that's where this whole saying comes from. To build a business, you're doing 24/7. I don't think you're physically doing 24/7. I think you still are doing 24/7 work in your mind. Yeah. If you're not, then are you really an entrepreneur? Are you really sacrificing? Are you really getting to the gist of it?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've never built a business, so I wouldn't be able to say. But just from observing the way you and Shannon are, I would say that I see where you're coming from with that.
Right. I mean, you look at what you've done in the time you've been here. Would you say it's a lot? Would you say it's a little? Would you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say even just my job requires more time. And like you said, mentally, I mean, even when I'm not at work, like if something's going on, I feel like I should be thinking about it. But so yeah, I mean, I feel like that comes into like hustle culture.
Right.
It has to do with that, which is why I feel like that's why that even started in the first place, because you're mentally just in it all the time.
Yeah, they equate starting a business to jumping out of a plane. I mean, that's kind of the mentality of it. You have to be daring. You have to be ready to survive. You have to be ready to survive. You have to be ready to get things done. And I think this is why folks that come in behind me or after me, and not necessarily you, but just in general, they think, okay, well, this looks easier than it seems. But what they don't realize is the effort and time that they don't see as it is the 24/7 that's truly put into it. And so I'd like to be able to say that's a myth, but man, it's 100% dead on.
So my next one is going to be that the idea that social media marketing or outreach doesn't really work for local businesses as much as it does like big corporations.
I think that's a myth as well.
So you think it does work?
I think it does work, yeah. I think folks come in all the time based on our social media. Folks come in all the time knowing where we are on Google. We use Google. We use Facebook. We have followers on Facebook, and they're local followers. So it's not like we're getting somebody from Alaska here in Texas. So to say that doesn't work, that social media doesn't work for local businesses, is definitely a myth.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's definitely harder, but I mean, for me personally, I know, like, there's a lot of local people in Katy or, like, Houston that do, like, maybe, like, for example, like eyelash extensions or something simple like that, or even like sell bracelets or things like that. And that's how I have found them, like just through Instagram or like TikTok or something.
So you're seeing it firsthand when you're searching like that or seeing that. And
yeah, so, I mean, I will go on Instagram and actually look up like eyelash extensions or like nails or jewelry or something, and then look for different accounts on there. I'll even type in Houston. I mean, like, it's kind of like Google but different, more. Because they have pictures and, like, examples on there, so. But so I do think it works. But so, moving on to my next group of games. This is going to be called Pitch It or Ditch It. So, I'm going to pitch an idea to you, and you're going to tell me if it's a good pitch or if you'd rather ditch it. So, my first one is going to be an ultrasound-themed escape room.
I would definitely pitch that. I would love that. Oh my God! Have a transvaginal probe that swings down, and you got to get through it before it hits you.
Seems like a game course.
You know, yeah. Like, I mean, that would be amazing. You could go crazy with that. I mean,
I was thinking much more like low key. I was thinking like an exam room, and you had to like look through it for clues.
I'm thinking like.
You're thinking of like a
I mean, think about the various
wiped out course.
Think about the various types of probes that we have. Like this probe right here, it could be a door, and you could go into the probe instead of the probe going into you like a transvaginal probe.
Oh gosh.
or you could see a sound. You could like run through a sound wave, or you have to get through various types of sound waves, or, I mean, you could go crazy with that. I would definitely pitch that because I love. If you've ever done one of these escape rooms, and I've done like 6 or 7 of them.
I've only done one.
They're awesome. They're so awesome, and the more gadgets and hands-on stuff that you can get, like, it's amazing.
You're making me want to make one. Okay,
we should make one.
Okay. So this one's a little more, like, not as funny, but would you rather, or would you pitch an idea for a subscription for monthly keepsake videos? So, like, if they came for an appointment or something, and every month they paid a small fee, and they would get, like, videos from their appointments. Or, like, a cute video. I don't think so either.
I wouldn't. I would ditch that. You know, in what we do here currently, I think I like the process. I don't know if adding something like that would be of benefit, but
I've heard subscriptions are kind of hard.
I could be wrong. I have subscriptions to stuff, and I sometimes want to get out of them, and it's a pain in the butt to get out of them. So I don't know if I would want to put patients or clients through something like that. I guess it would be clients through something like that, and then they call me, "Hey man, can I get out of the subscription?" I'm like, "Hey man, that's not my problem. You go get out of your own subscription." I don't know if I'd want to entertain, sketchy customer service like that. I like our customer service the way it is. So.
Okay. What about drive-through pregnancy announcements? Like if we had a drive-through like on like that side of the exam room, and we would just like give them like their results.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna say like you go through the drive-through window and you hold the probe out the window.
Oh God, no! It doesn't have to be.
You put gel on it and scan them, and then they just drive on.
I don't know. I feel like the results would be kind of giving them the results through a window would be kind of cool. It'd be like the pharmacy, but with results.
I mean, if you're gonna go that way, man, just like you're like roll down the window, scan them.
Oh God.
I don't know. I think maybe that's a ditch for me. I don't know about you. How would this concept look?
Well, that's why I was thinking. Like it would be like a pharmacy drive-through. So like they would come for their appointment, but since instead of getting like their report through an online email or something, they could come and drive by and grab it.
So they're gonna.
But I guess it's easier.
Give them a burger and fries with that.
I guess it's easier like with the online setting, so it'd probably be a ditch.
Can I get some fries with the shake? I would probably.
Okay.
I think I might ditch that. Yeah.
Okay, well, again, we digress. So, the next one is the last one, actually, is going to be this or that. So, these are kind of like fun this or that questions. And we kind of talked about one of them earlier. So, my first one's going to be work from home or in the office.
For this one, for this or that, I think I would probably. If I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't get a lot of work done at home. Because I'm all about that Netflix and chill. I'm trying to like relax and decompress, and I probably wouldn't get much done. So I would probably do the office.
I would choose to work from home. I mean, like from people I've observed that work from home, like I feel like it's just. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like you have more of your day, maybe, even though you're still working, it feels like you have more of your day.
Right.
But, like, I don't know. I think it does take discipline. I mean, I did online school for a long time, and it definitely is, you have to have a separate space to do your work. You can't be in, like, your comfortable spaces, like your room or, like, the couch. You have to have, like, a designated desk away from that so that you don't get tempted to go and, like, be relaxed.
The temptation is there.
Yes, but I would choose to work from home if I could. But my next one is going to be, do you overthink or take the leap and just do it? Like about something you're going to do.
Well, I mean, I'm an entrepreneur by nature, so yeah, take the leap.
You didn't overthink starting?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, I quickly assessed. Called 6 other companies, asked them how they were doing. They seemed like they were quasi shutting down, so I figured I had a time or a space to be able to hop in and do something different.
Okay.
I guess I saw it as an opportunity where others were failing, and so I jumped down. We're going. Do you
still do that with everything?
No. Oh no, not with everything.
Okay.
No. Starting the franchise. Before starting the franchise, probably about 5 years before, I started doing the research for franchising. So that would disprove that leaping in.
Oh yeah.
This was not a leap. This was, okay, let's calculate this. Let's see if it can be duplicated. Let's see, can a concept like this work? Have other concepts worked? Have they failed? What was the success rate? What were the problems that they had, barriers to entry, things of that nature. And so I think as you are in business longer and longer, you start to see the benefits of education, of analysis, of taking your time versus just jumping in. And so I think that's what changed for me over the course of 12 and a half years was, okay, I knew how hard it was the first time to do something. What should it look like a second time? Should it be easier, or should I make it just as hard and kind of spitball it, if you will, and maybe not get ducks in a row? And so I chose not to go that direction the second time, knowing all the mistakes that I made through the first half of a dozen years. So I will tell you that dealing with the franchise in general, albeit more documentation and more paperwork, it actually seems a lot easier because there's not as many roadblocks. They've already been cleared out. And so a lot of folks that are trying to start businesses after me now, they're either going to go an easier direction, or they're going to do what I did the first time and go through all the hard steps and learn all the hard lessons. And so I think that's what this is trying to alleviate.
So do you think that people who are interested in the franchise should just leap into it, or they should overthink it?
Well, the good thing about a franchise is you can't leap in. You've got a 14-day cooling period. You're supposed to talk to your attorney. You're supposed to talk to a CPA. You're supposed to consult with consultants to be able to see if it's something that actually is beneficial for you. And so from my perspective, that's exactly what you should be doing from the get-go. And so, had I had somebody tell me that from the beginning, I think maybe some things would have maybe changed a little bit or altered a little bit or maybe have been a little easier. But again, because I hadn't done that the first time, I now have the opportunity to see that happen the second time. And so from a second time, now I'm engaging with other people and they're actually able to see that firsthand, that we're taking the appropriate step rather than just jumping in. And so we're telling you to don't jump in.
Yeah. Don't
take a leap. Do an educational, analysis and say, hey, is this right? Does it look like it's equitable for you to get into it? And it's not necessarily a leap now because you have people behind you that are here to help.
Yeah.
To dodge all of those problems that you would otherwise have. So, very different, looking at it from a devil's advocate perspective. So.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting, I would say. I mean, I used to be more of an overthinker, I would say, but then now I'm a little more balanced. I feel like I know when I should kind of just do something and not think too much about it, but I think naturally I'm an overthinking person, so I think it's good to have both.
There's much to be said about that, about finding a balance. Shannon, the other owner of Ultrasound-Services, balances me out. I'm more of a risk taker. She's more of an overthinker. And so together, we find that happy medium and that happy balance between the two.
Yeah, that's good.
And so it takes something like that to do that. And so it takes somebody having a type A overthinking attitude to be able to reel somebody that will take a leap quickly back in and say, okay, maybe let's look at it this way. And so, as we've grown over the years, I've been able to, finish my MBA and also, be open for 12 and a half years. And those things colliding or coalescing together really make for solid, I guess. Solid decision making. And so, very fortunate, so I can't complain, but the overthinking can sometimes be a good thing. So
yeah, I agree.
Keep you out of trouble.
Okay, so my last question is going to be, would you rather, or not would you rather, I guess, do you think you should win quietly or celebrate publicly?
Yeah, this one's a tough one too. I think a lot of the times people want to win publicly. And Shannon and I, the other owner, are both more private people. And I think this is another reason why our company is still private. I think celebrating wins should be within what we do, our confines. But at the same time, eventually success will bleed out into the public, and eventually we'll have to acclimate to that. And so you kind of don't have a choice at some point. At some point you will have to, and you should be celebrating publicly, but I guess take it for as long as you can. Celebrate your wins quietly and enjoy them, because as you grow, you're going to continue to invite people into the fold, especially franchisees that are other owners that we would want to celebrate with them. And so that's an adjustment on our part as owners, and we'll take that in strides. Hopefully we can learn from other owners and maybe celebrate in different ways. But for now, we do that internally and do it quietly. But as we see folks, staff like yourself and our social media people, and they do things outside of us and the videos that they're doing and things like that, it kind of makes you want to celebrate publicly. And so it's tough. Like, where do you find that happy middle? Yeah. And so eventually we'll get there.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I am more of like a win quietly kind of person. And so I think that we do a kind of good job of doing both where we can. Like, I know we post certain things, certain accomplishments, and then within our group we have our own wins and we go through that together. So but that is all I have for you today. So for everyone who is listening, we want to thank you for joining in on our podcast today.
Thank you.
At Ultrasound Unplugged, we'll be here on Fridays for Franchise Fridays. And if you're interested in franchising or even knowing a little bit more about us, you can visit our website at ultrasound-services.com. And we just want to wish you guys another happy 4th of July. And
Happy
we will see
4th
you
of
next
July.
week. Thank you.